Hello, cheapskaters. I'm Kath Armstrong, creator of the Cheapskates Club, where our goal is to live life debt-free, cashed up and laughing. And it is Tuesday, the 19th of April, 2022. If this is your first time visiting our channel, welcome. And if it's not, welcome back. We are very pleased to see you. There's already lots of comments in the live chat. So if you'd like to join the live chat tonight, you have to be logged into your YouTube account or your Gmail account. That's a YouTube thing, not a Kath thing. If you don't have either of those, don't panic. You can leave a comment in the box below me. I won't see it during the show, but I will get to it after the show. And if you have a question, put it in all capitals so it stands out and I can pick it up as we go along or towards the end of the show and hopefully give you an answer. I hope you all had a lovely Easter break. Ours was interesting, to say the least. But you know what? We survived. We're all fit. We're all healthy. So we can't complain. Delaney, sleep well. Hello, Kerry. Give me some truth. Yes, all is well. Finally. Linky family, I know what it's like to get those kidlets into bed. We had one that just did not want to go to bed. Bed was a 3-letter word. Hello, Yvonne. And who else we got? Joy. Sorry, Joy. I misread. I thought you said you were planning to listen while you were learning Italian. Sorry. While you're cutting shapes from dies. Well done. Cuppa is good. I hope you've got it now. Yvonne had lamb roast and roast veggies, coleslaw and gravy for dinner. Sounds good. What did we have? Oh, spaghetti. What did we have? It was only like an hour ago. Goodness. Hello, Jacka, Trish, Trina, Miss Cupcake, catnaps. It's one of my favourite things to do on a Sunday afternoon. Mrs. Dilligav, Karen, Yvonne, and Beverly. Okay, well, I hope you all had a lovely Easter weekend. Our weekend, it was just about perfect weather-wise, stunningly beautiful weather. And I said to Wayne during last week sometime, you know, I love Easter weekend, but I sort of dread it too because in my mind, I don't know whether it's fact or fiction, it's probably fiction, but in my mind, the end of Easter signals the end of the really nice weather for us. So whether Easter is in March or April or anywhere in between, you know, the odd way it moves around, to me, once Easter's finished, it's winter. And today has been winter. It was so cold today. It's been really wet and it's really, really cold. We actually lit the fire. It was really funny because Wayne got the fire all cleaned out, cleaned the flue, got the chimney sweeper thing and cleaned all the flue and everything over on Friday, ready to get the fire ready to go. So I was very grateful for that today. So I have washing on the clothes horse by the fire because it was just too wet to even think about putting it outside. And hopefully it will dry overnight and we'll be into our winter routine, although the forecast is for quite nice days now for a few days. Anyway, I got some gardening done. Now, you all wanted to know about gardening progress. I spent Friday in the garden and Friday night in agony. I could barely move. My feet were sore, my knees were sore, my back was sore, I had blisters on my hands. What did I do? Pulled out the zucchini. They were still fruiting, still flowering and fruiting, but I need that bed. And this is an issue I have at the end of every season. Things are still fruiting and I think I'll get more, but I need the bed for other things too, or we won't have any in the future. So out came the zucchini. and that bed got all turned over and dug over and compost added into it. So it will be ready to plant next week, which is good because I will have plants to go in it next week. Then I planted another 30 peas. Hopefully 30 little pea plants will come up. Another dozen parsnips, another dozen beetroot, and another dozen mini white turnips. I like the mini vegetables. Someone asked me why I bother with them, but it's because there's no waste. For us, there's no waste. Now, I could grow regular sized, I grow mini cabbages and mini cauliflowers too. I could grow the regular size, but they are too big for us to eat without eating them constantly before the cabbage goes black or the cauliflower starts to mildew. And I don't always have the freezer space or the dehydrator space to preserve them. So the minis are usually enough for 1, maybe 2 meals, depending on how big I let them get, which means there is no waste. I love them, and they are slightly faster to harvest because they're little. So that's why I do the minis. They just suit my style of cooking and processing veggies, I guess. And of course, the turnips go into soups and casseroles, as do the parsnips, but I also love baked parsnip. And because we're heading into winter, because now Easter's over, it's winter, even if it's not. So we'll be having more hot roast meals now. So parsnip will feature quite heavily in that. I cut some rhubarb. I picked more raspberries and strawberries. I left some beans still on the bushes in the hope that they will dry so that I can save them. What else did I do? Oh, the potatoes are doing well. They're coming up nicely, so that's good. So I've got another bed ready to put more in, which will be good. I planted some more fruit trees. Hannah, I think I told you, Hannah got me 4 fruit trees, 4 citrus for $20, $5 each on clearance. She got some for herself, some for me. So I planted those into pots, which meant I had to dig over the compost and add some sand and some soil and whatever and make my potting mix to put them in the pots. So I did that. Then I gave everything a really good drink with worm tea. Thank you, Joy. That worm tea is being very well used. Made a dreadful mess of the veranda and under the pergola. I had stuff everywhere, so put everything away, put all the shovels and rakes and spades and things away, and then I just got the blower and blew it all onto the grass. So next time Wayne mows, you might find some things going ping, 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 ping. That won't be my problem. And that was my Friday. I was zonked. So I was really glad it was card day on Saturday and I didn't have to do anything. Had a really nice, restful, peaceful day on Saturday. We had a bit of a drama on Saturday night that we survived. Saturday night, Sunday morning into Sunday. Hannah went home yesterday morning and I collapsed in a heap. I got a book and I sat down, and I think that's about all I did. I had planned to do other things. I had some dehydrating to do, so I did that today. I had some cooking to do, which I did today. So yesterday was a bit of a write-off. Wayne and AJ were out at the train club because they had a visitor from England to host. So it was a really busy weekend. I went to bed last night and I didn't want to get up this morning, but I had to get up this morning to take Hannah's car to the mechanic. So I did. And other than that was our weekend. It was actually, it sounds It was full on, quite busy, other than Saturday, which was nice and calm and peaceful and restful. And I didn't really get everything I wanted to get done. But you know what? It's still there. It's, I have a friend who used to say, well, you can make a list and tick things off, but if you don't get it done, it'll wait. So my list, I tick some things off, other things are still waiting. Kerry's been dodging showers, weeding garden beds. The rain is beautiful. We had 35 mil, I think Wayne said, which is really nice because it will fill up the rain barrel a little and water the plants. I think gardens do so much better with rainwater, don't they? They just look brighter and they seem to grow, get a boost with rain on rather than, I mean, hose water is really good too, but they just seem to do really, really well with rainwater. Hello, Suzanne. And hello, Veronica. And hello, Jane. So, what else have I been doing? I did some fiddling around, some crafting. And I feel like I'm ripping you off a bit because I don't have a specific topic to talk about tonight. I have a few different things. I thought, oh, hang on a minute. Here we are nearly towards or past mid-April, and I haven't given you a budget update. Oops. And how we're going with that. So I will do that. And then I've got some other bits and pieces to share with you too. So it's just going to be a general sort of chit-chatty type show tonight. I hope that's all right. Our budget, our budget is our budget. You know, I had to give the grocery budget a bit of a boost back at the beginning of the year. And I'm so glad I did because our budget, while it's sort of kind of intact, there were a couple of hiccups over the last couple of months. And I did have to shift funds around. It was no great drama because we had them, and often I will find myself moving funds from one account to another and then back again through the course of a year anyway. But I did notice that even though we're being very, very careful with our power use and our water use, but mainly the power, that the bills were just going up. Now, we get our power bill monthly by my request, so I can keep track of it. And I have been tracking it, and the actual amount of electricity we've been using has actually dropped by 5.5%. But the bill total has gone up almost 10%. So I'm not a happy power user. Not a happy power user at all. And it took me, I had to sit down with the bills and go through things and make sure everything was right and run out to the meter and come back in and do some checking. And the upshot is we now have a device on our meter box that tracks the actual power use in any 24-hour period. I can click on the app and see how much power we are using right this minute and how much it is costing us on my phone. Now, this gizmo gadget thing, it was free via a Victorian government program, and it is through the Victorian Energy Upgrades program. So if you are in Victoria and are interested, do a search on that. Victorian Energy Upgrades program. And I'm pretty sure other states would have the same thing. Because I did speak to a lovely gentleman at the power company, and he was sort of like, well, you know, that's what the meter says and that's what the charges are and that's how much it costs. And I've gone, okay, I'll be kind, I'll be nice, I'll get my ducks in a row, and then I'll go, this is what's happening. Because I'm pretty sure a couple of the bills have just been estimated and not actually read at the meter. And I know they have the gizmo thing that they can point and click, but I'd still rather they actually checked the meter, pointed it and clicked it at the meter, not stood out in the footpath and just went, Pchoom. It sort of bugs me a bit when they do that. So I've got a spreadsheet going and I'll keep track of it. And I thought I'll keep a track of it for 3 months and see how it compares and whether what the app tracks is what the bill reflects. And if it is, then we're using too much power and we just have to cut it back. And I will be doing it, but either way, I'll probably be doing another ring around to swap power companies and find a better deal. Something I do fairly often anyway, but it's really annoying when you're sort of running around saying, turn that light off, close that window, shut that door, put another jumper on, turn that fan off, and the actual usage goes down, but the cost goes up. Really disappointing. And, and then we got hit with today, and it was cold, and it's wet, and it's just like, it's miserable. It's like July today. And I'm grateful for the rain. I really am. But, oh, gosh, it was cold. I got up this morning. It was quite mild, and it actually dropped. So it was colder at 4 o'clock this afternoon than it was when I got up at 6:30 this morning. And, of course, because it's cold and damp, the houses felt chilly. So, Wayne got the fire ready, which is really good. So that was easy to get going. I have fire lighters. I bought ones. We got a whole heap of fire lighters on clearance for 99 cents a packet from Coles last winter. So I just put a couple of those in to get the fire going. Whoosh, off it goes. And hopefully, we'll keep it going now. Even on the warm days, we will keep it going because the nights are going to be chilly apparently. And that should hopefully be enough to keep us warm for winter. We've got firewood stacked up all over the place, and he's been really busy collecting the free firewood, chopping it up. We've got some that's 2 years old, some that's a year old, some that's new. So we'll be working our way through it over the winter. And that should make a really big difference to our heating costs, because free firewood compared to running the ducted heating or the reverse cycle aircon, well, that's going to be a few $100s that we won't be spending. And that'll give us a bit of wiggle room in our budget too. So what else? Groceries, I mentioned I made the decision to increase the grocery budget at the beginning of the year. And all I can say is anyone who does not see the benefit of keeping a stocked pantry is a fool. If that's offensive, so be it. I don't think it is. I think it's fact. Prices are rising. Things are still difficult to find. Brands are disappearing. And we were having a bit of a discussion on Facebook between Wendy, Joy, Hannah and myself over the last few days about sausage mince. It used to be $5 a kilo. I used to be able to get it for $5 a kilo. Then it went up to $6 a kilo. Now it's between $12 and $14 a kilo. A 500-gram chub is $6 at Coles, or it was $6. I think it's gone up to $6.50. Anyway, depending on where you buy it, Then you've got regular beef mince. Now, beef mince is a staple in our house. We like it. It's $17.99 a kilo for regular beef mince. And it's regular, not the premium. I'm thinking if you wanted to buy premium beef mince, you'd almost need to sell a kidney to be able to afford it. I have to tell you, though, it was really funny because I was talking to number one son about it and saying, how expensive the mince had been and how it was really, one of my go-to things. We eat a lot of mince in different recipes, and we're just chatting. And I said about the price gone up to $17.99 a kilo, and he went, "Oh wow!" I said, "I know." I said, people think mince is a poor person's meat. And he just looked at me like I was nuts. He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, there are a lot of people that turn their nose up at mince in any, form. They do not like it. They think it's a poor person's meat." And he looked at me and said, "Oh," he said, "they don't know what they're missing. Mince is delicious." I thought, "Oh, isn't that nice? I can feed him mince 7 nights a week and he'll be happy." But, I'm glad he appreciates that mince is delicious. But there are people who would turn their nose up at it. It's $17.99 a kilo. It's almost pricing itself out of my budget. I don't know what we'll be doing. It gets too much dearer. I know someone said it was $10.99 at Aldi, and I did pick up a tray to use. I haven't used it yet. I put it in the freezer. The vegetables are going up. Cleaning products are going up. Not that I buy them. Toiletries are going up. The baking products are going up. Dairy, cheese, butter, even milk, and it's almost to the point where for a lot of people, these basic grocery items are almost unaffordable. And I find that unacceptable for Australia. We live in a country where we have the climate, the land, the ability. We have farmers willing to grow our food. We've got a couple of really good Australian-owned manufacturers who could process that food for us. And it doesn't happen. We should not be importing anything that could be grown here, produced here, manufactured here. And anything we import should definitely not be cheaper than anything that we grow, produce, manufacture, design, whatever here in Australia, especially food. This is a real bugbear of mine. It absolutely drives me spare that we import stuff that our own Australians are growing or making, and they go out of business because it's cheaper to import it. It should not be cheaper to import. It just shouldn't be. I feel like we've sold our country out for the cheaper imports, and then we sit back and moan and groan about the low wages and the high prices and the lack of jobs and high taxes and the constant struggle to maintain roads and hospitals and schools and utilities. When, you know what, if it wasn't so cheap to import inferior products, those things wouldn't be an issue. Anyway, I'm off my high horse. You can tell it's a bugbear of mine. It really, really annoys me. What else? Let me think. Christine. Hi, Kath. Do you know if you unplug your electric items when not in use, do you save money? Yes, you do. Unplug them and turn it off at the wall? Yes. The only things that run constantly in our house, dishwasher, because it's too hard to get to turn off. The ovens, again, because it's too hard to get to them to turn them off. Fridge and freezer. Wayne's computer stays on. I turn mine off and I unplug it. Lamps are turned off at the wall when we go to bed. TV's turned off at the wall when we go to bed. Kettle is turned off at the wall after it's used. Toaster's turned off. Microwave's turned off. Only goes on if we use it. Yeah, you do. It does save power and therefore hopefully money if you do those things. And you can get gadgets that will do it for you. You can get power boards that will do it for you. Turn everything off at once. Some of them even have timers in them so that, you can hook it up to your TV and DVD recorder and lamps and set it to go off at 10 p.m. or 10:30, whatever, and it will. It turns it off, and it turns it off completely. So there's no phantom power getting through. And I know it sounds mean to be running around, turn that off, turn that off, turn that off. We've even started turning the clock radio in the bedroom off. It's digital, so when we turn it on, it comes back on to the right time anyway, so we don't need to worry about it. We've started turning that off in the morning after the alarm has gone off. Every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. I was following a Facebook thread this afternoon, and it was 45 hacks for frugal living or something. And one of them, oh my goodness, talk about start a war. One of them was put your soap slivers in a jar, and when the jar's full, top it up with water and let it set to gel, and then you can use that for cleaning or in the washing machine. Oh, and this one woman she either didn't or she didn't want to understand. She said that was gross. It was just disgusting, and it was filthy which made me laugh, to do that, to keep soap slivers in a jar like that. You should just, when the soap gets too small to use, you should throw it out because it's just dirty. And I didn't say anything because everyone else was going, well, no, not really, and you can do this with it, you can do that with it. She wouldn't have a bar of it. It was throw it out because it was gross and filthy. And I'm like, I've saved soap slivers for years. I've grated them to put in washing powder. I have put them in soap socks to bath the kids. I've used them, filled jars up with water and let it turn to gel to use for cleaning bathrooms and floors and all sorts of things. It doesn't go to waste. And what made me stop and really pay attention was she said, soap is cheap enough. You don't need to keep those slivers. And I thought, you know what? That is privilege talking. That is wealth and privilege talking. For us, soap might be inexpensive to buy. We can get quite cheap soap at Aldi or Coles or Kmart or wherever. Reject Shop, NQR, you can get quite cheap soap. But there are a lot of places in the world where they not only can't get cheap soap, they just can't get soap. And then I thought, right, there are a lot of Australian families who find soap expensive. It's not to be wasted. So her attitude and she said she lives a very frugal lifestyle and she's very conscious of not wasting money and not wasting resources, and her attitude was slightly skewed. I don't know. Because we live a very privileged, if you think about it, we live a very privileged lifestyle. I don't buy fancy soap, but I have the ingredients to make it if I need to. But little things like that. And they're the sorts of things I've actually been really conscious of this year, especially with our tight budget. And things like, I think I've mentioned it before, 2 tea bags makes 3 cups of tea. So I like my tea really, really strong. So I save 2 tea bags, give one, and then the third cup of tea, I use the 2 tea bags together in it. And then when they're finished, they go in the compost or the worm farm, so they don't get wasted. Little things like that I've been really, really conscious of this year. Scraping the butter off the paper when I open a new tub of butter. Making sure everyone knows to use the spatula to scrape out the peanut butter jar or the Vegemite jar. You can there's a lot left in those jars that a regular butter knife won't get. So a spatula to scrape out, especially under the rim of the jar. There's a lot in there. And if you're not getting it and you're throwing that out, it's money in the bin. So all right. Now what else? Mini pumpkins are, yes, mini pumpkins are good. Again, it's something for 1 or 2 or 4 people. They are really, really good. I like mini veggies. Onions take ages to grow, Kerry. They are not a speedy thing at all. If you can cover them from frost, your snap peas here in Melbourne, snap peas are fine. What I've found over the last 25 or 30 years of trying to garden is most things will grow all year round in Victoria if you look after them. They do slow down. So, planting lettuce, I grow lettuce all year round. It slows down and takes longer in winter. That's fine. We don't eat as many salads in winter. Snap peas are the same. They will be a bit slower, not quite as fast, but they do still grow. Most things will. And if you can, if you're in a frost zone, or there's going to be a frost, or it's particularly icy rain and low temperatures, if you can cover them with something, even if it's just old sheets, to keep the frost off them, they will be just fine. A lot of things that we are told won't grow because the agenda is to push other things on us, to get us to grow other things. So I grow lots of stuff. I'm a bit of a rebel gardener, I think. I grow a lot of stuff just all year round. I stagger the plantings so that we have them constantly. And yeah, you can get similar to polytunnels, but smaller versions. Get them from Bunnings. They're about $15 or $16. If you don't want to make them, they're about 4 meters long, I guess, but you can squash them up. And they're just wire with clear plastic over them. So they act like little greenhouses, little hothouses over your plants in winter. They keep the frost off, but they give them plenty of warmth and keep the soil warm. Condensation will keep them watered. So you can do that too. There's lots of things you can do that maybe we're not technically supposed to do them, but we just do. Ooh, Linky family, what is a champagne fruit tree? Never heard of it. Trina's been canning. Thumbs up. Thank you. Yes, please. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Just click that thumbs up there. And if you're not already subscribed, please do. They really help us. When we get lots of interaction through comments and likes and shares and things like that, it really boosts us on YouTube, or YouTube pay more attention to us, which is a really good thing. Trina's been canning. Miss Cupcake's been dehydrating. Frugal Fun Mum. Oh, I love a good book. Yes. Karen's increased her budget to $85 a week for food. Jane's had one power bill since she put the solar panels on the roof. The bill was for a quarter when we had son and his family living here, and they're back in credit once more. That's really nice to know. Yeah, selling your power. These days, selling your power back to the grid earns you nothing and does nothing for you. If you can get batteries, we looked into batteries. Wayne's got all the details. I don't know, it goes straight over my head. I don't understand that stuff at all. I just don't understand it. Yes, Joy, it does say on the bill if it's estimated or averaged or red. Chili everywhere. All right, Miss Cupcake Aldi had firelighters for $1.99 yesterday. Oh, that's good. I don't know what a PowerMate thing is. That's not what we've got. It was called a something or other. I don't know. Can't remember. But it wasn't PowerMate. We've had things before. Mushrooms, yes. The last couple of weeks, this weekend would have been perfect for mushrooms because the ground last week was quite damp and it was warm and humid. There would have been plenty around. Hannah still doesn't have toilet paper up there. She comes down here for the weekend. She buys a packet to take home with her. $12.99 a kilo for whole beef rump. Wowzers. Goodness. I prefer the cheaper mince too. I brown it, and what I do is I really brown it, not so it's just grey, although if I'm canning it, that's what I do. But if I'm just browning it to use in pasta sauce or whatever, stew or pie filling, I really brown it so it gets really quite dark and you get all the, what's the word? I was going to say crunchy bits in the bottom of the pan. When it gets to that stage, I do drain it. I do run the actual mince under hot water to drain the fat off it and wipe the pan out, but I try to leave the crusty bits on the bottom, and then we soak those up. We'll lift those off with the passata or whatever I'm putting into it. Sugar's very expensive. Hello, Victoria. Yeah, we were talking about this last week, the week before, and we can expect shortages to continue for up to 3 years, which means price increases will last for up to 3 years. Maybe longer. It really depends. Can I be a skeptic and just say, oh, I just think it's planned? You know, they're happy to do it. If someone's making money out of it, and as long as someone's making money out of it, it's going to keep happening. Enjoy your dinner, Trina. Yes, soap slivers for if you're doing quilts or tracing out patterns, soap slivers are brilliant. Well, I have to say, when we have our camper here, it has the solar panels on it. And I have been known to take the laptop out and the cameras out and the phones out and charge them in the camper rather than in the house with the electricity. Hopefully we should get it back from the repair guy soon. Okay. Well done, $27 drop in the power bill. Perfect. That's what you want to see. Especially when we're being told that power is just going to keep going up and up and up in price. So I had a butter paper drawer too, or I had a baggie in the freezer, a Ziploc bag in the freezer. Could I please do a video on how to make soap? I suppose so. Not that I don't want to. Not that I don't want to. But if I do it as a live, it's going to go for a very long time. If I don't do it as a live and do it as a recorded video, it'll go for a very long time. And then I have to edit it. And that takes hours and hours and hours. And I'm not really good at it. But I will see what I can do. No promises, but I will see what I can do. Because I have some, I want to make some stain removing soap, which is really easy to do. So I will see what I can do. But I am not promising anything. Joy Saves butter papers. Yep. Peanut butter and Nutella on a spoon. We don't buy Nutella. Now, speaking of peanut butter, guys, did you see the news tonight? Coles, now last year or the year before, Coles had a bulk, smallish bulk section that they did as a trial. It was there and then it was gone. So now they've relaunched it, and the big headline was, you know, Coles are going up against Costco or some such nonsense. Costco's 4,500 products and Coles 44 products. But they did have Bega peanut butter for $16 something. That was the equivalent of 8 of the smallish, the 300 and whatever they are size jars, which normally run to about $32. So it was sort of half price, which I thought was interesting. I don't mind Bega peanut butter. They also had panko breadcrumbs. Well, I don't, you know, I'm no master chef. I'm never going to be a master chef. So the only time I've ever had panko breadcrumbs was when someone gave them to me, because I just make breadcrumbs from bread ends and stale bread and whatever, crackers and things. But there's a few things that they were 44 things in total that they will be selling as bulk items. To go up against Costco. So if their prices from what I could gather were very, very similar to Costco's, and the Coles big thing was, and you don't have to pay the membership fee. You can just buy as you do your weekly shopping. So I thought that was interesting. So when I go to Coles this week, and it's going to be a really weird week because it's a short week, and next week will be a weird week because it's a short week too. I will have a look and see what they're like and compare prices and see how they go. Yeah, Karen, I rinse it out and use it in gravy or stock or soup too. It's really nice. It's actually really good if you fill it up with boiling water. Don't put the lid on. Fill it up with boiling water. Stir it around until it's dissolved. Pour it into a mug. It makes Vegemite and water is a really good hot drink. Sounds gross, but it's really, really nice. We're normal. It's the rest of the world that's weird. So I tell my kids, I'm not weird. It's the rest of the world. I'm perfectly normal. Nothing weird about it. Yep. Joy loves her Yorkshire tea. Okay, I've never put the bread crust in and scraped it out. Now, with the jam jars, I used to, when the kids were little and the jam was finished, I would put milk in it, probably about 3/4 full of milk, 2 or 3 ice cubes, put the lid on and shake it up, and then it was a milkshake for them. And it would be raspberry or strawberry or apricot or peach or whatever. They didn't like the marmalade ones. Nobody liked the marmalade ones, but the others were all really good. Or pour them into, do the same thing, but pour it into the icebox molds and make icy poles for them. And because they were little and they didn't know any different, Mummy was amazing and it worked really well. Capsicums will too. Yes, capsicums are not annuals, they are perennials. Lots of things that we are encouraged to treat as annuals aren't actually annuals. Petunias aren't annuals. If you, once they're finished flowering, cut them back, they will come back next year. When they finish flowering, cut them back, they will just keep coming back. Petunias can last for years if you look after them. You don't need to buy new petunias for your pots or your garden every year. It's just what we've been brainwashed into thinking we have to do. Okay. Sorry, guys, I'm just yep. Aldi was stocked up on toilet paper today, but there seems to be a shortage on potato items in the freezer section. So it's all these. I think what we are going to see for the duration until somebody decides they're sick of playing mind games with us is 1 week we'll have plenty of toilet paper. Next week there won't be any, but there'll be cheese. Then the next week there won't be toilet paper and there won't be cheese, but there might be Cocoa Pops. And then Cocoa Pops might disappear and tomato soup might come back. They're just going to play, it's mind games. It messes with your head. It really does, because we're so used to going to the supermarket with our list and going bang, 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 got it, go home, we're done. Now we go with our list and we can't get it. And so we go to the other store and we can't get it. And we go to another store and we can't get it. And not only can't we get it, but we can't get other brands either because it's just not there. So keep your pantry as full as you can. If you find an empty spot, fill it. If you use something, replace it. Just don't let it get down. Salt is a good thing to have. Salt is a very good thing to have. It's a forever food. It will keep forever. Pasta will keep forever. Sugar will keep for a very, very long time, especially if you vacuum seal it. Don't put oxygen absorbers in it. Your flour, if you vacuum seal your flour, it's good for at least 5 years. Pasta's a forever food. Vacuum seal it, it was good for 25, 30 years. They are all things that you can keep for a very long time. Now, I keep telling you, I'm a preparer. I'm not a prepper. I'm not a doomsday prepper. I'm not interested in keeping stuff in buckets and tubs and whatever for 25 and know that it's going to be good for 25 or 30 years. I do want to know that what I have will last as long as I want it to, because I've stored it properly. So, when I talk about things being forever foods, yes, they will last forever. It doesn't mean I'm building up my pantry to last forever, because we are still using our pantry. We're not hoarding. We're not hoarding our pantry. We are stockpiling it, but we are using our stockpile. And I think most of us here are. We're not thinking, zombie apocalypse is going to happen, or the Martians are going to invade or something, and we're just going to have to bunker down and draw the shutters and hide. We are thinking that, droughts happen, floods happen, cyclones happen, hurricanes happen, strikes happen, mice plagues happen, grasshopper plagues happen, wars happen. All these things interrupt our supply chains, which disturbs our way of life, and it can affect our standard of living. So I don't want to change my standard of living. I'm quite happy to work hard at keeping my pantry full. I don't want to change my standard of living. And maybe that's a topic for another show, but actually living the cheapskate's way is hard work. You do have to put some effort into it. But it's not as hard as being hungry or not being able to pay your bills, having power turned off because you can't pay the bill, or not being able to send a child to school camp because you can't pay the bill. So maybe that's a topic for another show. Sorry, guys, my back's still sore from the weekend. I'll think about that, because I know we say, our goal is to live life debt-free, cashed up and laughing, and that is our goal. But it doesn't just happen. Me, you, your family, everyone we have to make it happen for ourselves. We can't sit back and wait for someone to do it for us. We need to be responsible and self-reliant and self-sufficient and make it happen for ourselves. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Victoria. Kalgoorlie still has everything in short supply. Hello, Sherry. Wanted to comment on the soap conversation. Go right ahead. Comment away. Hello, Annabelle. Joy thinks they're doing it because the bulk buyers, commercial people, aren't buying, so the companies are offloading the big sizes to get rid of them. Could be, Joy. I think, you all know I have a love-hate relationship with Costco. Not my favourite place to shop, and I don't think Costco is cheap. I do not think Costco is cheap. I do believe for the basics and the ingredients that I buy, I can do better at Aldi or Coles or Woolworths or IGA or Foodworks, Australian Butcher, wherever, if it's on sale. And I don't have to pay, and I think this is the big thing with Coles, I don't have to pay that membership fee. But there are other things, perhaps the more luxury things, that I don't buy. I don't buy them. I just don't think to buy them, that maybe are the brand name products that maybe are cheaper. So for the people that like those things, Costco might work out for them. Yep, I make breadcrumbs from stale bread, from stale muffins. I've dried bagels and whizzed those up. Cornflakes, rice bubbles, wheat bix, all go into the breadcrumb. We call them breadcrumbs, but it could be any sort of crumbs, really. Oh, Selena, see, nothing wrong with Vegemite drink. It's actually, If it's really cold, it's really nice. It's savory, and I don't like salt, but it's a really good drink. Thank you, Joy. Oh, there you go. See, I'm normal. I'm not weird. Lots of people have hot Vegemite drink. Yes, petunias do self-seed, Trina. Outback 6, we've gone from a household of 8 down to 4. Realised after a shop that she's buying for 8 people still. That's a good way to build your pantry. Inventory is a good idea. Look, even going from 5 to 4, and when Hannah moved out, was interesting because I was so used to doing meals for 5 that it took me a couple of weeks to get into the habit of not doing quite so many vegetables, of not, it was really interesting. So we had a few freezer meals stacked up there for a while with the extra serves. When you went to the dentist, Bovril or Botox? Hot water and bread chunks or soaked? Eek. Here we go. There you go. Someone's done the sums already for me. 780-gram bigger peanut butter jars at Woolies are $6.50. So only 10 cents per kilo more than the 2 kilo tub at Coles. More convenient in the jars, and they don't go stale as quickly as a 2 kilo tub. Peanut butter will go rancid. It is very, very oily. Oh, Bonox. I knew there was some. Thank you, Joy. I'm thinking Botox. Isn't that what that's what I need, Botox. Bonox. Oh, it's a bit slow. I love Beverly's thankful for anything that self-seeds. I love finding, stray plants. I was digging over on Friday in the strawberries, and I thought, I wonder what that is. And it was potato has come up from somewhere. So it must have been in some of the compost that went into that strawberry bed, and it's come up. Trina sealed 3 buckets of bread flour and 2 buckets of pasta today. Yes. Woolies own brand peanut butter is really nice and only $2.40. Nice to know. If it hasn't been opened, when you open it, sniff, taste, look, test. So make sure there's no mold on it, no fairy stuff. If it smells all right and it tastes all right, then it will probably be all right. It's very highly processed, and it has been sealed. So it should be okay. You might find that it's darkened, changed color a bit, and it might also be a bit oily on the top, but it should be okay. But you know what? If you're not happy with it, if you're not comfortable with it, toss it. What's that? So if in doubt, throw it out. Better to be safe than sorry. Food poisoning is an awful thing. Do I pay extra into a power bill to keep in credit, or do you prefer to keep it in the bank account when the bill is higher than usual? Okay, we have a set amount for our power each week, and it gets put into the bank, into our household bill account. And then when the bill comes in, it's direct debited straight out of the account. Now I get the bill so I can check it. There's always enough money in the account to cover the bill. And that's how we work. I don't pay the bill ahead. It is paid before the due date. I have it set to pay about 3 days before the due date, just to make sure it actually does go. I have a reminder to check it. And yeah, our bills are pretty, I was going to say stagnant. They're fairly level. Summer, the electricity is higher than the gas, but that's because we don't use the gas heating in summer. I don't cook inside as much. We barbecue a lot in summer, so we don't use as much hot water, so the gas, is lower. In winter, if we use the gas, tends to go up a bit, and the electricity sort of stays the same pretty much, because we might run the gas heating, we use more hot water, and I cook inside. So, but I budget the same amount each week for the gas. At the end of the year, the end of each year, when I close off the accounts, if there's any excess, it gets transferred over into our slush fund, and I just start the year again. And I do that with most of our bills. So anything that's variable, gas, electricity, well, it's really only gas, electricity, water. Everything else is a set price. Costco depends on what you buy. Flour at Costco is cheaper than what we get from flour mills directly from the bakery, which is cheaper than supermarkets. The size just isn't practical. Yeah, Costco, for a long time, Costco flour was actually dearer than Aldi flour, but now I think it's cheaper. How do I make my breadcrumbs? Okay, in summer, if I've got the dehydrator going, I'll put the crusts into the dehydrator with whatever's going through, and then I whiz them. When they're cool, I whiz them in the food processor into crumbs. Now, that takes a while sometimes, just to make them as fine as I like them. In winter, when I have the wood fire going, I get out the cake racks, and I've got a cake cooling rack that's 3 levels high. Put them on that, lay the bread crusts on that, put it on top of the heater, and I might turn them a couple of times during the day, and they dry out really, really quickly. If the oven's on and there's space, I might put some in if I'm doing some baking or a roast or whatever. In summer, I've been known to put them out the back under one of those mesh barbecue cover things on my table near the clothesline, because it gets full sun. But breadcrumbs are easy to dry. I do make fresh breadcrumbs, because it's really, if you're doing schnitzels, fresh breadcrumbs, just lift that schnitzel to a whole. It makes it MasterChef worthy. I will say it, MasterChef worthy, if you use fresh breadcrumbs on your schnitzel instead of dried. So much nicer. Okay, now, sorry. Hot cross buns. Oh no. We have a very, very good bakery across the road from us that does really nice hot cross buns. I didn't make any this year. We did buy 1.5 dozen from the bakery, and they were delicious. They're really good. we had enough left over to do hot cross bun and butter pudding, which was really nice for dessert on Sunday night. Mincemeat, $9.99 a kilo in Adelaide. Wow. 3 kilos isn't bad though. 3 kilos, I would buy 10 of those and put them away. That would last us for a long time. Thank you, Annabelle. I don't like salt because I'm allergic to iodine. And of course, you probably were the same. Everyone's probably the same. When we were growing up, table salt was iodized table salt, and it actually makes me sick. So I could never. Mum got into the habit of not salting anything until after she had dished up my food, because I would literally be sick. I'd break out in a rash. I would get really, really sick. I would throw up. I would have trouble. If it was a lot of salt in something, I would actually have trouble breathing. Iodine's a nasty allergy to have, and so I just got into the habit of not having salt on my food and in my food. When we got married, Wayne came from a mother who was very generous with the salt shaker to me, who we didn't even have salt in our house. Now I buy plain sea salt, and it gets used for our pickles, and that's about it. There is a little shaker of salt in the pantry, and every now and then Wayne or one of the boys might put it on a sandwich if they're having a salad sandwich or something, but I still don't. I just don't like it. I don't like salted chips. I don't like, but thank you. And it might be true too. And Jane's parents put a teaspoon of salt on it every meal. Yeah. Well, it was a really big thing, wasn't it? In the 60s, 70s, probably from the 50s through 60s, 70s. Iodine was the health issue, wasn't it? To help your thyroid, because you needed to have a healthy thyroid, because then it stopped goiters, and it was supposed to protect you from, was it the thyroid that protects you from radiation? Might need to read up on that again. But so, and there seemed to be this consensus that there was iodine was lacking in people's diet anyway. They weren't getting it naturally, so it was added to salt, because that's what most people used as a seasoning back then, salt and pepper, especially here in Australia. Here in the UK, salt and pepper was it. We didn't have all the wonderful spices and herbs that we use now. So yeah, I don't really know. Oops, lost something. All right. Oh my goodness, I've talked too long again. Lots of people put salt. Look, my mum did, until she realised that it was, until we found out that it was the salt that was making me sick. So I don't eat shellfish. I don't go near anything that's even remotely seafoodish. Actually, tuna and salmon are about my limit when it comes to seafood. And betadine, anything like that, I can't have. Betadine burns. Betadine will blister me to a 3rd degree burn in a couple of minutes. It's a terrible thing, but anyway, I've survived this long. Okay, now what else did I have on my list? Sorry guys, I got busy talking and didn't actually finish my list of stuff. I just wanted, all right, I wanted to quickly give you an update too on, I've done the garden. Our budget is, we're sort of rolling along with our budget. Side hustles. Yes, finally got my act together with the side hustles. I've been busy making stuff for months. And we now have our new shop is up and running, and it's called homeamongthegumtrees.com. So it's totally separate from Cheapskates because it's not really a Cheapskates thing. This is a side hustle for us. So I've done the whole new shop, and it is homeamongthegumtrees.com. And I've started uploading stuff to the shop. I've got lots of dishcloths and fabric jar toppers listed at the moment. And now Easter's over, Hannah was here helping me, and we've got more that will be uploaded this week. And I've got some clocks, some hanging tea towels, some row readers, say that quickly, cards. I've got a nice neat little pile out there ready to be they've all had the photos taken, they just need to be uploaded. So that is going to help, hopefully that will help boost our income this year, because really anything to make life easier. I don't mind working. I'm happy to put the effort in to make my future better. I'm happy to work hard now so that when I'm old and grey, I can have a better future. Makes sense to me. So that's about it. Oh, and Thursday night, guys, I was hoping to be able to do this tonight, but unfortunately not everything arrived in time. So Thursday night will be a special show, special live. If you can't make it live, that's fine. But I'm going to actually try a new method of preserving that I haven't tried yet. So I'll be learning as I go on the fly, although I've done a lot of research about it. If you want to join me, it'll be 7:30 Thursday night. Hopefully it will work. You can be the judge. I'm hoping. Not everything arrived, otherwise I'd planned to do it tonight. So yeah, Thursday night, 7:30, special show. I'm a bit excited about it because I just love learning new ways to make what we have last longer or go further or save us money. So this should do all three things. Alrighty, so yes, frugal fun mum. Yes, I forgot. Still got that dehydrator down there on the floor. It's getting buried under a pile of stuff. Soon as we hit 5,000 subscribers, that dehydrator is going to a new home. I cannot wait to clear that spot out. All you need to do is be subscribed to our channel. And to subscribe, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button down there and then click the little bell. That's all you have to do. And you'll be in the running to maybe win yourself a new Sunbeam Food Lab electronic dehydrator. I've had mine going flat chat for weeks now. Over the weekend, I dehydrated pizza sauce. I dehydrated pasta sauce, more zucchini. It went really, really hard. Alrighty. So I will let you go. See you on Thursday. Thank you so much for listening to me blather on tonight. I didn't realize it was quite so late. Again, sorry guys. Until Thursday, remember, keep calm and keep cheapskating. I'll see you then.